On Friday, I headed to the Gold Coast, where former Prime Minister John Howard and Leader of the Opposition Peter Dutton launched a new book titled Prosperity and Dignity: The Future of Liberalism in Australia. If you're keen to read it, you can get a copy at Connor Court Publishing's website. But while I was there, I talked to some of the attendees about what they think is the way forward for Australians who believe that liberalism is the way to go, and how the values of equality of opportunity, strong families, respect for the individual, fundamental freedoms and reward for effort can be renewed in their appeal and made relevant to future generations. Here's a few of the responses I got. Gavin, what do you think is the future of liberalism in Australia?
I think it's probably to return to its roots, what Menzies espoused, what John Howard espoused, that sort of thing, yeah. Rather than trying to just follow the Labour Party and be Labour-light.
I think the future of liberalism is more economic conservatism and not so much ideological conservatism. I think kids my age aren't interested in all the woke politics and ideological battles that you see in American politics. I think kids my age are more interested in affordable housing, and we're more interested in just, more affordable cost of living for the future.
The future of liberalism relies on people being positive about it, being strong about their beliefs and not shying away. And I believe that the Liberal Party will become strong again as soon as the Victorians pull themselves together and stop being stupid.
I think there's some problems, particularly with the younger cohort, and also the fact that, in my view anyway, we've moved too far to the left, and I'd like to see the return to the sort of values that we had when John Howard was there.
Our schools have gone completely the other way. They're spending a lot of time doing things that are not going to make any difference or not going to matter, and we've lost those people because they simply haven't had the education in it.
So clean up the education system?
And our history.
There's a lot of good sense in that. John Howard, Australia's second longest serving Prime Minister, and clearly someone who was held in high regard by the people I was chatting to, gave a cracker of an address on the day, and he spoke about how the Liberal Party can't just be bland managerialists. There's got to be the demonstration of that deep guiding philosophy that its representatives are prepared to bravely articulate. And he's confident of that happening under Peter Dutton. Have a look.
And I'm optimistic about the future. I'm optimistic about Peter Dutton. He's got a calm strength, and he understands the need to preserve the broad church. He understands the need to stick up for what works, to oppose what doesn't work, and above all else to recognise that the things that unite the Liberal Party are infinitely greater and more enduring than anything that might at any time in the past or in the future divide it.
And he also had some really direct words for Noel Pearson for insisting that Howard was a founding architect of the voice.
That there's a none too subtle attempt underway at the moment by people such as Noel Pearson and others to say, oh, this idea of having recognition all started with John Howard, and if only Liberals followed what he did, they'd all vote yes. Now that couldn't be further from the truth.
And I also liked what he had to say about the ACT government's takeover of Calvary Hospital and what that says about values.
Can I say this attempt by the ACT government to grab from the Catholic Church the Calvary Hospital in the ACT is about as blatant an assault on the principle of private property ownership that I've seen in this country for many, many years.